Good evening. We'll go ahead and get started for our May 27th, 2025 Park and Rec Commission meeting. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, just a friendly reminder to turn off your cell phones if you have not done so already. And we will start with roll call.
Hale.
Present.
Hall.
Present.
Noyes.
Present.
Braithwaite.
Present.
Patterson.
Here.
Zibelwolf.
Here.
All right, any amendments to the agenda this evening? Nope. Okay, ceremonies, announcements, appointments, presentation.
I will do those. I slid it way down, but not this. Hi, I'm Tracy Stevenson, the Recreation Manager, and filling in for Dave Fair today. So I get the honor of recognizing two people that have already got recognized but need a whole lot more recognition. So our first one would be Bryan Myers, our Parks Manager. Yeah, you can stand up. At our latest Idaho Parks and Recreation Conference, IRPA to us, he received the Professional of Excellence Award for the Parks, Trail, and Conservation. I spelled it wrong, sorry. This award acknowledges individuals who have made outstanding contributions to the stewardship and improvement of parks and trails and who continue to enhance the leisure opportunities in the years ahead. So it was a newer award for our organization, and Bryan has won several other awards, but this was the award he won for this year, and we were super excited for him to bring it home to our department. Congratulations. Our other winner was Jason Wiley, if he wants to come up. He's a recreation supervisor. He received the Dr. Leon Green Fellowship Award. This is the highest honor given by IRPA. This prestigious award recognizes vigorous leadership and service in the parks and recreation field and honors Jason's ongoing contributions to both the profession and the association. So this, like I said, is the highest award. Jason, too, has been in IRPA for how many years? 27 years. So he has done a little bit of everything with our organization, from student up, and led a lot of different positions, so it was really awesome. Dave Fair wrote his nomination, and the board selected him to win. So congratulations to both of them. It was super well deserved. Thank you.
Good job.
Can we clap?
I think so.
I think so.
All right. Excuse me. Moving on, declaration of conflict. Do we have any conflict this evening? Nope. Consent calendar. Looking for approval for last month's meeting minutes for April, actually.
I'd move to approve the minutes from April 22nd, 2025 as presented.
I'll second.
Braithwaite.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Noyes.
Aye.
Hall.
Aye.
Hale.
Aye.
Zibelwolf.
Aye.
Okay. Any citizen issues this evening? All right, we'll get right into the meat and potatoes. We'll start with unfinished business, election of chair and vice chair.
So as you know, as we're at the part of our annual leadership process where we're now going to be accepting nominations for both the position of the chair and the vice chair of our Parks and Rec Commission. If you'd like to nominate someone or if you'd like to express your own interest, now's the time to do it. Please feel free to, and we can move forward on getting a new chair and a vice chair.
Interested?
I would give it up if someone new wanted to take over.
I decline, thank you.
Okay. Devin, are you interested?
I don't know what it would entail, so.
Maybe you can share some detail. It's not much more commitment than what we provide already.
I was going to say, Gina's done it for the last year. It's taking the leadership and running the meeting, and
I'd probably decline
public
it this time.
processes. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I would nominate Gina if she's not going to say no.
We've been doing kind of a tradition of like 2 or 3 years, and you've done 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of been doing 2 or 3 years, just in general, not that we have to, but if you're interested.
Okay.
So I need to make a formal nomination. So I would like to nominate Gina Hall then for the next term as president. Is it president?
Chair.
Chair, sorry, chair.
I'll take president.
Okay.
I would second that.
So then they need to take a vote.
Does she need to ask for any other nominations?
I believe, do we take a vote and then do the vice chair, right? Or-
So are there any more nominations?
Okay.
For president.
Oh,
You would
oh,
say that
anyway,
out loud.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other nominations for chair?
President.
Didn't sound like it. No. Okay.
Hale.
Aye.
Hall.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Braithwaite.
Aye.
Patterson. Aye. Sibel-Wolf.
Aye.
Okay, so now we're looking for a vice chair, which we currently don't have anyone because that one has vacated the seat. Anybody?
Devin, this now would be a great time to say yes.
Sure, I would accept the nomination.
So also nominate. Okay.
I'll
So-
second.
Yeah.
Any others?
Any other volunteers? Hearing none.
Braithwaite.
Aye.
Patterson. Aye. Hale.
Aye.
Sibel-Wolf.
Aye.
Hall.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Did she?
No.
You didn't say no, you didn't do noise.
Noyes.
Aye.
I seconded, so I just assumed.
True.
Okay, got the hard stuff out of the way. You're up.
I'm up. All right, so next item was the Falls Park update for the dam construction at Falls Park that Avista's working on. A little while ago, in the last month, the team of Avista sat down with us to give an update of what the progress is on that construction project. And basically, they were giving us an update that it's a remodel, and they discovered some things that were unexpected behind that main structure. We're still awaiting a full press release from them outlining the timing and what they anticipate for construction changes. But at this point, we do know that the changes are such that they're having to go through and re-engineer the structure of the coffer dam. So the dam that's going to be placed behind the existing dam, so they can demolition that existing structure and go through the process for reconstruction. So with that, they're going to need at least a year to go through the process of getting permitting to move forward with that process. And the good news is that they're going to be able to demobilize out of our parking lot at Falls Park and reopen that to the public for this coming summer. And then at such time that they have their redesign for that process and what construction will look like, they'll remobilize into the space, and we'll see a lot of what we've already seen continuing for the rest of the project. So big highlights. Parking lot's coming back to public space. We'll still see some closures in the park, as highlighted with the red outlined area. So the gravel, what has historically been kind of that gravel maintenance turnaround that's nearing the dam structure, that'll remain closed, as will the lower portions of the walkway of the dam overlooks. But for the most part, the park will be able to return to public use. Unrelated to this project, but just as an update, the pond has been filled and Idaho Fish and Game is continuing to stock that basically on their regular schedule of a monthly basis. We are still actively managing the Asian mystery snail situation there. Right now, we're kind of in a maintenance period of draining the pond in the fall, doing 2 rounds of snail picking there, and then doing the same in the spring. So, but for the most part, public, other than having a fence up along the roadway, it should look generally kind of normal down there. So, if you have any questions?
So that fence is going to come down along the roadway temporarily?
The
for a
fence
short time.
will pull back to the edge of the parking lot, so on the roadway, it will still be intact.
So the parking lot won't be open then for the public in the summer, or will be?
The public parking area will be open. The interior of the park, there's the maintenance vehicle road that extends through the park. That will, the portion that's currently closed would remain closed. So,
Okay.
yep. And that should happen mid to late June. So by Post Falls Festival, we should see that parking lot. It's anticipated that we should see the parking lot open to the public again.
And the amphitheater, is it going to be, is it open now? Is it accessible now?
It is, yep. It was largely uninterrupted through this process. So,
Okay. How do they
the
get?
biggest interruption has been to parking, to access the landings.
So how do you get there to the amphitheater with all that construction in there? Is it?
The multimodal pedestrian walkway from 4th Avenue has been
Oh,
open.
it is open?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it didn't look like it the other day, but I didn't look very closely.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. You may have seen cones stretched across that. We've had some vehicle parking conflicts at that entrance. So
Yeah,
that's been
okay.
a little bit of a challenge for us to maintain. So there've been times where we've placed some cones in front of that entrance to keep people from parking between the no parking signs.
And did Avista give us a timeline?
No, other than it's a full year of delay at this point at minimum.
Okay.
As they go through the permitting process through FERC. At this point, it was supposed to be a multi-year construction project, 2 to 3 years from this point, so expecting that to just slide back at least a full year to 18 months.
Multi-year.
Yep, and the extent of the project is generally likely to be somewhat similar to
Okay.
what it was anticipated before. As far as construction seasons go, they're largely working around spring runoff and trying to complete their work in the consistent runoff periods of time. So. No further questions, so move on to the next thing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move to new business and discuss the summer barbecue.
Yep, so Dave was talking about he would like you to look at the dates of, he'd like to hold a regular meeting on the Tuesday in June, but then also look at possibly Wednesday, June 25th or Thursday, June 26th for a barbecue down at Black Bay Park. He'd like to show you the progress and what's going on. Or the other options were July 23rd or Thursday, July 24th. I'm just throwing those dates out there. I think we'll probably send out a survey so that you'll have time to look at your calendars and you can get back to Kirsten, but that's kind of what he was looking at, doing the normal Tuesday meeting and then backing it up with the barbecue afterwards, or the days after.
Okay,
I was just going to add on, every June, we kind of do like instead of during our meeting, we do a parks tour. So we go to a specific park.
Yeah.
So that's what she was referencing, so.
Thank you. I forgot we had new people, sorry. Thank you.
okay, and how about the department head recruitment process?
Warren is gonna give us an update on it.
That's me tonight, I think. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Warren Wilson. I'm the Deputy City Administrator. Excuse me. As you probably are all aware, Dave has announced his retirement from the city. He'll be leaving us essentially the end of this calendar year. So we have begun the process of starting to look for Dave's replacement, which seems a little weird to me because I've known Dave forever. The city has retained a firm called Prothman. They are a headhunter, if you like, that specializes in municipal leadership positions, and they work largely in the Pacific Northwest, but they have a sort of a national reach. We have retained them to lead the hunt for Dave's replacement. We're intending this to be both an internal and external recruitment that'll be happening at the same time. The process has already begun. We've had a couple of meetings with Prothman where they've sat down with city leadership and as well as the supervisors in the Parks Department, trying to get a handle on what does the next person look like? Who do we want to be in that position? What types of skill sets are we looking for? What types of personalities do we want? We also will have another meeting coming up with sort of the next step down, the managers, to get their perspective and input. We're likely going to see publishing and sort of direct mail reaching out to folks in the profession occurring in mid to late June is when this probably starts kicking off. We'll look towards a closing date, probably the end of July. We're trying to get this done so that there's a bit of an overlap. We don't know exactly if it's someone that's internal or local, it's a little easier. If it's someone who's having to move multi-state, that takes a little bit longer time. So we're hoping to have somebody on hand working in November to have a little bit of overlap with Dave so he can answer questions that come up. The goal is that Prothman will bring to us a handful of final candidates that we will then sit down and go through an interview process with. They will initially vet all of the applications that come in and then give us sort of this final list that we will then run through a selection process and ultimately make a recommendation to the mayor, who then makes a recommendation to the city council and seeking their confirmation vote on the appointment. So that's kind of the process. That's what we're shooting to get through with the goal of having somebody starting in November of this year. So that's kind of the process. Happy to answer any questions that you might have for me, or if you have any requests for input or for information, anything that we can do to provide you the stuff that you think that you should have as part of this process.
I don't think so. No?
I don't have any questions.
All righty. Well, thank you.
Right, thank you. All right, Urban Foresters Monthly Report.
Pretty fancy. All right. For those of you who don't know me, I am the city arborist, Randy Snell. I've been here with the city for about 6 years or so. The urban forester, Preston Hill, generally gives this report, but he couldn't be here tonight, so he asked me to fill in for him. He wrote all the stuff. I'm just kind of delivering it for you. Starting off, looking back, this is what we've done since our last meeting. The staff has completed construction of 3 footbridges in a particularly muddy area of the Post Falls Community Forest. It was all done with volunteer groups. There's 3 different groups that participated. One was the Kootenai County Post Academy, which are law enforcement candidates. The second was built by a local Trail Life scout and his team. And the third was done with Friends of the Community Forest Group, their May meeting. Second, the arboricultural crew completed the tree pruning. That's me. My crew completed tree pruning necessary at the Warren Playfield. This we did before any of the work was to be done this year on the new improvements with the playground and the street parking. So that's all complete. We also spent quite a bit of time significantly upgrading our number 15 pot and pot nursery where we grow trees at our shop. Some of the improvements included, it's an expansion so we could hold more trees now. We changed the grade of it so it drains a little bit better. improved the irrigation, and then we also installed a cable system to help hold the trees up for wind events and stuff like that. So it came out really good. I'm pretty proud of it. What's next? We also hosted the local fourth grader field trip. I think that was last week. It was 4 different days. Each were half days. We got 4 different schools to come this year. And we guided them through the forest, the Post Falls Community Forest, into the Parkway Fire Burn area, and taught them about fires and wildlife. And the theme was cycles, so we learned the life cycle of trees and life cycles of bugs that are attacking these unhealthy trees. And so it was pretty successful. There's a lot of kids that don't always get out a whole bunch, so I think there's a lot of value in doing this. We got a lot of happy people. But we had some help with, who are they? Wildfire and forester experts from the U.S. Forest Service, the Idaho Department of Lands, and the Inland Forest Management Group all helped make this event a success. Another success we had was 2025 Arbor Day celebration. All the attendees were rewarded or awarded a pretty decent sized tree that they could take home and plant in their yard. We taught pruning, tree planting, and professional climbing at the event. And we did it a little different this year. I really liked how we did it. We actually pruned trees in the parks and got a bunch of work done at the same time. So it was neat, actually hands-on, showing them, like, would you make this cut? Would you know what I mean? And they got to really see us do it, and we got some work done. We also planted 2 trees that are still there that obviously get to live out their life in that location. So we showed them planting too, and that was pretty neat. The UF Natural Areas crew responded to some malicious damage in a relatively new still enclosure across the adit of the mine in the Post Falls Community Forest. I guess the vandals cut through one of the 2-inch by 2-inch steel members to gain access to the mine, and they caused significant damage to the steel grate, removable grate for getting into the mine. It took about 2 people about 8 hours to repair. And then finally, this is mostly what Preston takes care of, but community development involvement. Between April 23rd and May 27th, there were 9 pre-application meetings and reviews, 4 subdivision street tree plan reviews, 1 subdivision common area street tree inspection, 83 residential street tree inspections, 6 commercial, industrial, or multifamily landscape plan reviews, and 13 commercial, industrial, and multifamily landscape site inspections. So it's a pretty busy month. Those numbers are a little high, but that's pretty typical in the springtime after winter time. A lot of people want to get their stuff finalized. So what we're currently working on, our crew is doing some street tree pruning along the roadways. We were given a map by the street department of all these areas they need to do some paving on and chip sealing. We do this annually. Go through and do some crown raising and stuff so the equipment can get down the streets and get their jobs done without damaging the trees. So we've got a bunch of that done. We got some more to do. We're not quite there, but we're getting close. We have been continuing to experience quite a number of calls and interactions from the public regarding tree mortality. This was experienced last year during an extreme cold snap, and the majority of the trees around town that really got injured were the flowering plums. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's some dead plums around the town. We are in the process of completing annual trail marker inspections and maintenance throughout the community forest. And we're also in the process of doing some minor upgrades to the community forest trail map. Those include one new trail, the addition of a QR code link to the city's mobile device trail map application, and updated volunteer information regarding the Post Falls Community Forest. And then some of our plans in the future, once all that's all wrapped up, we will be doing some routine public tree pruning in some city sites. Those sites on our list, on our short list, are Park in the Meadows, 4th Avenue Trailhead, and City Hall right here. This we're going to be doing a bunch of crown raising and structural pruning to keep the trees as healthy and safe as possible, and better access getting around. A couple more things. The next Post Falls Community Forest, or Friends of Community Forest event, will be on Saturday, June 7th from 9 a.m. to noon. And they will be performing trail clearance pruning on a particularly brushy trail section. And then finally, we are hosting on June 9th and 10th, our division is hosting a course for professional arborists, the Wildfire Risk Reduction Qualification course. It introduces a new credential available to certified arborists in the Pacific Northwest chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture. This is the first class of its kind ever offered here in the Pacific Northwest, so we're happy to be hosting it here. And it will be at the Trailhead Center, and then we're also going to be going on to the Henderson's property, which is just an adjacent property owner that was involved in the fire and lives right by the forest. So he's allowing us to go on his property for some of the talks. So, and that is everything on this report. Is there any questions you would like me to answer?
I always have a question.
Okay.
So how do you get your hands on one of the trail maps for the community forest?
Well, at each trailhead there is the big map, and I believe the new system will have the QR code, so you'll be getting it onto your phone by using a QR code. I'm not aware of other locations where we might be putting that. It's also, I'm
We
sure.
have some at the office too that we can give you, that we have some printed out.
Okay, and
Yes.
is it available online too? Is it
Yes.
on the website
Yes.
somewhere?
Yes,
Okay,
under the park site
perfect.
Chamber.
and chamber, yep.
Yep. Great.
Anyone else? All right.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right, any commission comment?
I had a question for either Tracy or possibly Bryan. In our packets that we always get, Dave used to have a director's report, and I saw value in that. I don't know if that's just a function of him being gone, but I know in the past, the few times he's been gone, we still get it,
Yeah.
so.
I know what you're talking about, and
Okay.
I don't know why it wasn't in this one, but I can ask him on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
just, I see value in
Yeah.
the one page of.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else from the city?
Nope.
Okay. Well, meeting adjourned.
Yeah.